Movies.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of In Movies. I'm here, your host, Eric.
It's Sam.
And actually, this episode, we actually have a special guest. So how would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi guys, I'm Darlene Pacheco. I am an actual student currently at Cal State Fullerton.
I went there. I'm sorry.
You did. I know you went there. I know
sorry.
you went there, Sam.
Such a bad start. I'm already
all
interrupting
right.
her.
Yeah, you're like, well,
I need a timeout.
Titans. But I'm going there currently for teaching, and I love film, and that's why I'm here. And I love talking, so.
Yes, and then for today's episode, we actually have a decent amount of topics to talk about.
Yes, sir, we do. Today, we're going to be talking about A24's latest drop. And as we all know, A24 is the king of indie films. They're the captain of the indie boat. So they basically made hipsters cool again. You know what? I'm going to grow a fucking beard out, get the fucking,
The little swirly mustache.
Exactly,
I
dude.
feel that.
Like
You live in LA.
Yeah, dude. I'm going to have a...
Go to parks. All that good stuff.
Dude.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start walking my cats. I'm gonna pay like $30 for a vegan burrito.
Yeah.
So today we're gonna be talking about their latest film, which is directed by Alex Garland. Men.
Yes, this is this
Title
week's
alone.
movie. This week's movie of the week.
It's funny if you see like the TikToks on the ads for men. The comments will be like, the title already is scary.
Yeah, just men.
That's funny. I just
Yeah.
was seeing a bunch of apples and the little.
Oh, her with their knife just standing by. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that.
And I think that was
That was like-
awesome,
That-
dude.
Yeah.
That
I
little-
completely agree.
It's I mean that's such a badass scene, and then like that becomes the soundtrack of
the
like
whole
the
song.
whole movie.
Yeah, the whole
Mhm.
The
movie.
whole
Yeah.
movie, you keep hearing that like all
Yeah.
the time, dude. I think that's pretty cool.
Honestly, it was giving me heavy Midsummer vibes, that film.
Mm.
That's what I kept relating it to. But what did you guys like think of it?
All right, so in the movie Men, Harper, played by I think her name's Jessie Buckley. I've never seen any of her movies, but
I don't think I have.
I don't know who she is. I'll be down honest.
dude, I love her accent, dude.
Yeah, in the movie. Yeah.
I didn't come here to be afraid.
And then her friend Riley was just like,
Do you want me to drive down there?
yeah.
I'll drive down there right now.
Pulls
Yeah,
up. I was like, oh, all right, you did it. She's like, I'll be there in 3.
she's a real one, dude.
Yeah.
What was her name again? Do you
Oh, Riley.
Riley?
Yeah.
We all need a Riley in our life.
Yeah. But
That
give us a
will
little.
pull us to that.
Give us a little background on the movie.
Yes, sir. So after Harper goes through some traumatic ass shit with a man, she decides to get a little Airbnb in the English countryside, and she decides to stay out there for 2 weeks. But as she's out there, she starts meeting all types of men that start making her feel more uncomfortable, more than the average man makes you feel uncomfortable.
What'd you look at me for?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just
listening.
You're just the closest man.
yes.
I was
Sorry,
thinking,
sorry.
I'm like,
I
oh,
was like,
you really
damn.
know
I was
that.
like, what'd I do?
You were just, you were right there, and you are a man. So as she's there, to relax, as time goes on, she starts feeling more fear, more guilt, more anxiety, and things start getting weird as fuck. So that's the premise of the movie. Let's get into what you guys thought about it.
Okay. I think a lot of this, and it was obvious, there was a references with, Adam and Eve with the whole apple scene. And I think this movie can be this is a perfect film to talk about in classrooms that have feminism. That can you know what I mean?
This is going to be played in a bunch of gender studies
Oh,
classes.
definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, I don't think I watched this film, I can honestly say, and I do not consider myself a feminist. That is the truth. It's not that the thing is that I don't think I have enough intellect and information to really claim myself as a feminist, but I'm pro-choice. I'm like, girl, do whatever you want, whoever,
Some
whatever.
would say that's
Same,
like a
yeah.
feminist.
I can honestly, I don't label myself.
Yeah, me too. Like, make the girl pay on the first date. Feminism. Let's
Yeah,
get it. Yeah.
But I'm like, whatever. I'm scared if I say I am, and then I'm just like, oh, I
Why
like
do you
it.
feel like the standards are high to
Yeah.
be considered a feminist?
Yeah, for sure. So like that's why I'm just like, you know what? I'm just jabbing with people. Like people just I mean, if you're cool, I'm cool, that's it. If you want to open my door, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'll probably like it, you know? And I think
Shit, I like it.
film yeah, you know, so I'm just like, ah, it's whatever. But I think this film brought a lot of like she was trying to be independent, that she didn't need him. And then, you know, I think it ties in a lot with even little things where she was like running around with the dress and then just like men coming up in different ways. I think the men were to signify different versions of men
Yeah.
for sure.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
kind of
I felt like a lot of the men, well, obviously it's like every man in this village is like a caricature of like the most evil type of man
Mhm.
that's either abusive emotionally or physically, right?
Mhm.
And then we start off with like the stalker dude, his dick out and everything. Like
just hanging.
this is the kind of guy,
Yeah.
just dick out, fucking on soft. You know, I feel like it's scarier on soft for some reason.
Oh my
But
gosh.
yeah,
But those are like the men that are the stalker types, you know,
the
old,
crazy ones.
exactly,
Yeah.
like the ones that all
Will
girls
do
are
anything,
are
yeah.
really afraid of. Like those are the ones you fucking block after the first date. You
But
know?
then they also like interpret like the guy who owns the Airbnb. He's like the really nice one that was like,
Yep.
just call
Yeah.
me whenever you need something. You know how those are.
Exactly.
Those are the ones that are like they're so nice to you just
Mhm.
because they know that one little chink in the one thing you do.
cheek in the armor.
Yeah, like you'll swoop in
He's
and go for the
penetrating.
kill. Yeah. So they have that one and they have the little kid. But the little kid to me was more of just like someone who doesn't care about what they think or say because like he calls her a bitch. He
Mhm.
says all this shit. Yeah, he's like play
Yeah.
hide and seek with me. Nah, oh you're a bitch, and he just like he leaves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To me that little boy was like the immature man that is still like harassing women, but he gets like a pass because they consider him
Still
immature.
young.
Yeah, like he's still young. Like, oh, that's just boys will be boys. He's gonna call you a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who cares, you know? But I think that's what he represents. Like he still added to the layer of like fear that Harper
Mhm.
was feeling, but immediately the priest is like, oh, he's just a boy, you know. He just likes to play a lot, and so I think
Yeah.
he represents those kind of men who
Yeah.
are
But
like,
to me the priest was like actually a really bad representation of like I guess what men actually are with what you're doing. Say because in that scene he's saying like, oh yeah, like my boyfriend died, and he's like, you know what? He's like, maybe what did you do? Why didn't you stop it? He's like, why did you could have done something to kill
Ooh,
him?
yeah.
Yeah, like it was playing the guilt trip, and you're just like, oh damn, like aren't you supposed to be a priest and just be like,
Yeah, and I think that's also tied in. It was manipulative. I flipped
Yeah.
my lid when he was like, "Oh, he was just like, you know, men are gonna hit you sometimes, and you have to be okay with it." I was like, I could not contain myself. I was watching it, and I was like, "Ew,
livid?
that's
Yeah.
disgusting." Like that
Mhm.
was so creepy, and the fact that she's like, "What?" And then I think it was crazy how they kept going back and forth. I think each man was representing, and I think foreshadowing what was going to happen and what led to everything of her decision of when she, you know, wanted to say she wanted to get divorced. And I feel like she said this is the reason why. You know what I mean? And a lot of women sometimes don't walk away out of relationships because they feel, you know, he's saying I love you, isn't that enough? And sometimes I think women can throw that on men, but this time it's reversed.
So is this movie more like in a view of society or in a women's point of view? Because it's also explaining a lot about society and how it
Oh,
actually is.
no,
But
for
then
sure.
is it trying to portray more of a sense of, oh, here's a woman, here's a POV of what they actually go through.
Dude, to me, I feel like I got like two really strong interpretations that I really like. And I think the message of the movie itself is really strong because I feel like there's going to be a ton of interpretations
Mhm.
all relating to like, you know, women and how they're viewed in society and like how their decisions are uh, like they're held to a higher standard than men. Um, Especially if they're like involved in some like controversial thing like in this movie, which we're gonna get into spoilers. You know, we don't really know what happened to her ex lover, and I think the way they edited it, I think was fucking perfect. Because at the start, you don't know what happened to her lover.
Oh, you just
That
see,
was
yeah, you
crazy.
just
Yeah,
see him
you
fall.
see him falling, and you're like, what the fuck was that?
And then her nose is bleeding. I was like, what happened?
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
you have no clue what the fuck
I thought
happened.
it was Firestarter Part 2, bro.
Oh my
I thought it
God.
was Morbius,
I thought
too.
it was Morbius flying
The
through the
more,
window.
the Morbier. 8 more
No.
billion tickets sold.
No, but
No,
like,
but yeah, the way they start off like that, I think it creates a strong sense of intrigue, and that's what the movie does really well. Like the first half, you have no fucking clue what's happening, but it
yeah, it's just telling a story, and you're
Yeah,
just like,
and-
okay.
but it like it gives you all these questions of like what happened with the Lex lover, you know, what are these men up to, like why is she so alone? But anyways, I was saying like I have two strong like interpretations of like what the movie is trying to say, and like how you were saying like is it on a societal level or is it like a personal level with this girl? I think the societal, I think like there's two, like one with the societal perspective and one from the personal perspective of Harper. And I think on the societal level, it's like all these men are like different archetypes of abusive men.
Yeah.
But you know, at the end when you see like this disgusting fucking birth
Oh,
cycle
yeah,
like
happening.
7 times.
Yeah, I was like, bruh.
I
That was
like,
crazy.
what
You
the-
counted?
I think it was like
No.
20 times,
Dude,
bro. Honestly,
yeah,
it never
dude.
I'm like,
stopped.
how did you? Well, that is such like a specific number. Did you
had
count
my
each time that
popcorn.
happened?
I was just staring at had my popcorn. I was like,
He
this
was like-
is crazy, bro. That's
He was
how
like
it
naming
works?
them as they're being born.
I was like,
Yeah.
that's how women work. I was like, damn.
I was like, dude, I'm glad we don't give birth, bro.
Yeah.
Imagine if we did.
that shit. Even that scene. Well, that scene even has its own
Yeah.
little symbolic meaning.
Yeah, so I think like what
Yeah.
that scene was kind of like saying, and it was like the big message of the movie was that like these type of men who are like equally harmful to women, like not only do they not like stop each other from hurting women or manipulating women or abusing women, but they actively encourage each other, like by competing with each other to see how far they can get with women, and by like letting each other get away with it, they infinitely spawn each other. And so it's like we'll never stop having those type of scary, freaky men because they keep giving birth to
Ooh,
each
that's
other.
good.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that's what I felt like that scene was like, and the
Mhm.
overall message. And I think that message is pretty fire, like the way it was done in the creepy way, you know, like.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then also the other interpretation I got was like more personal with Harper, and I think this is kind of like, so to me I feel like, so like at the end the final form of like the birth cycle
is the X.
is the X, yeah.
It's
And
it's
I was
such
like,
a crazy
yo,
fucking turn of
that was a
events.
cool twist. But it
I
had
didn't
me
expect
thinking, me neither. I was like, yo, that's crazy. And I was thinking like, but like what is it like mean?
Yeah, because you
You
just
know.
see this thing have fucking 7 kids back to back to back, and then she just sees it and just sits down right next to it, just to have a talk.
Exactly.
And I was like, what the hell? Like, how are you so comfortable with this?
Yeah, that kind of threw me off a bit, to be honest. I was like, dude, kill this fucking monstrosity, dude. Like,
Well,
chop
you
its
know what?
fucking
I
head
think
off.
honestly, I think a lot of that had to do with like my question throughout the film, and especially the ending, was why did they come back to him after all of that? Like, was that like I wasn't sure if that was like supposed to be her piece.
Mm,
Was that supposed to be like a closure? Was she
Yeah.
supposed to find like a realization to like, okay, you know, this is like that's what I was just kind of lost. And I just felt like a lot of it was just what was your idea on it?
Oh, no,
See,
no, go.
To me, because after that happens, you like, you know, her friend shows up and like she ultimately won, right? Like,
Yeah, it's not there anymore. Like,
it's not
what
there.
happened to
She
it?
survived.
Yeah, what
yeah.
happened to it? Yeah.
We don't know how she did it, but she won.
When she picked up the axe.
No, because
Yeah.
remember, I think how she won was because in my point of view of how I thought of it was more of a psychological level with the whole being
Yeah.
because technically everyone that was there didn't see it. Even the cop was technically one of the things that turned into. So in my mind, how I feel is it was technically none of them existed. It was all in her mind.
You know, I actually saw an interview.
Whoa.
Actually, I read an interview with the director, and he talks about how like he for sure didn't want it to be a psychological thing because then he felt like it would be not ethical.
Yeah,
it
because
would it would be like
it's
blaming
saying,
her.
Yeah, it's saying that girls don't get over
Oh,
like
that's
exactly.
past
a good
Like
one.
if
trauma.
it was psychological, yeah, it means that girls can't process
Because
trauma correctly and
Mhm.
ended up being a killer.
yeah, because technically the way she won is she told it like, I don't love you anymore. And then
You
he's
see,
like, yeah, what can I do? And she's
yeah,
basically like nothing. And then that's, I guess it kills it because she finally finds the remorse that she needed for
that's
like
exa-
the suicidal, what happened to
mhm.
her boyfriend.
And that's exactly like what I was gonna say. For my second interpretation was that like, so she gets there and she still feels hella guilty.
Mhm.
She's part of her mind still feels like it was her fault that her
Yeah.
ex lover died. And after all this shit happens, and like she finally sits down with him and have a conversation and be like, I didn't love you and stuff. I didn't love you no more. Uh, she wins ultimately, and so to me, it was like after she came to terms with the fact that she couldn't do anything to stop like a self-destructive man to kill himself, she lets go of the guilt and she finally stops seeing the same man everywhere. So I feel like on a psychological level, in a personal level, she kind of saw the same man after she was traumatized by one man. And I think that's kind of like controversial for a man to say, to say like, oh, like a girl
Just get
being
over
hurt
it.
by a man starts seeing all men the same. But
Oh, that's good.
but I feel like that's one of the messages it was saying, because after she like has a conversation with him, she wins. She stops seeing the same man everywhere.
Yeah, it just disappears.
Yeah. So that was my second
You think
interpretation.
so? I honestly I saw the whole film, like, and I was actually like reading a few. What was your question?
No,
Is
good.
that I just saw the whole film as honestly just like it trying to be really relative to what's going on right now and how a lot of women are right now just, things that they feel like they can't go out alone, because they're scared. And so what does she do first thing she gets there? She goes out. So she's trying to figure it out that she can do it. So I feel like this film is also like a journey. I'm not sure if that was the intent, but what I got out of it, as a girl, as a woman, is that like I'm just like this is crazy. Like I feel like every woman goes through this at one point in their life. Like I've done it. I've been sad. I've been like, you know what, I'm gonna go get an Airbnb by myself or whatever. I do it and I end up like, you know what, I'm gonna go take a walk by myself. I'm gonna go find myself. And it has been a situation, to be honest, where I've been sad because of something of a relationship. And because you start thinking, you start blaming things. So I feel like throughout this whole film and the process, especially of it being something very horrendous as like him, and that's a thing where I think that was also a cliffhanger. Did he commit suicide or did he slip and fall trying to get to her?
Oh, right, because
So I
they
feel
never
like
answer
Oh
that.
they never
yeah, because
answered
she
it.
locked the door.
They never
Yeah,
answered
Hmm.
it.
yeah.
So I feel like I'm not sure if the director left that as like, you decide what you want it to be. I personally think it wasn't suicide. I think he fell. I think he fell because from what I feel like what they were trying to signify when he was trying to like talk to her, I think he just lost it so much that that's what it was. And I feel like people are so quick to be like, "Oh, he killed himself for her." You know what I mean?
Yeah, because
Hmm.
there's so many symbols, even like throughout the movie, even when she cuts the dude's hand and it goes all the way, and then that's when you notice all of them have it, and you're like, oh, this is like the same person.
The same
But then we
man.
still have no idea what the true being is, like what that spawn is that just keeps being able to
That
transform and
uh-huh.
change. Because you can see it at the beginning, it's a person, and then later on, it starts turning to like a tree. It has like leaves all over its
Oh
face.
yeah, towards the end.
Yeah, it starts transforming.
So like I like the ambiguity of like whether or not he killed himself.
Mm-hmm.
I like in the directors, he's good at that. Like he's talked about how he purposely likes movies that are, in interview says like he likes movies that you lean into, like you have to really pay attention and like wonder about, whether what was real or what was not real.
Mm-hmm.
And I think A24 too, the studio itself, likes making these kind of like weird movies. And I'm gonna talk about The Lighthouse again because I can't get off the movie's balls.
That
Robert
one's
Pattinson.
crazy. I kept thinking of
Yeah.
Yeah.
Annihilation because I know he did that
Oh yeah, he
too.
did. Yeah, he
And
wrote it.
Annihilation, that movie, I was left like, what? Like, what the heck was that? Like, I still cannot. I've heard so many people give me different like opinions on it of like what happened when she went in and she came
Hmm.
back out. Like, and then she finds out, Oscar Isaac, her dude is like the same as her. So I'm like, did she get with an alien? So I'm like, it's weird. It's so weird that I
I
feel
really
like
wish I've seen it now so I could talk about it.
You haven't seen it?
Annihilation?
No, dude. I know. What am I doing with my life?
no.
But you watch Morbius. But you,
Dude, I've
you watch
seen
Morbius,
Morbius.
but you won't see Annihilation.
I've seen Morbius 172 times.
I know. I've been counting
My
with
favorite
you.
scene is when he says, "It's Morbin
It's,
time,"
it's Morbin time.
and he turned into Morbius. But anyways, the lighthouse, right? Like that one is very ambiguous too.
Mhm.
So because like the whole point, like throughout the whole movie, there's a lot of freaky shit that happens. At one point, Robert Pattinson ends up fucking a mermaid. And
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I had that
I forgot. Yeah.
I had that scene on repeat for
Research purposes.
long
To
period
talk
of
about
You
time.
guys
it
are
on
gonna
this
kill me, but
podcast.
I only know bits and pieces because of my cousin, but I haven't seen the
You haven't
Lighthouse.
seen it? Oh, that's a must.
But I
too.
know everybody says it's
Yeah,
like
it
for
has-
sure one of like
yeah.
their top films from A24.
Yeah, because it has like
Mhm.
Edward Cullen and the Green Goblin.
Exactly.
It's pretty
Mm.
cool.
But see, that movie's really ambiguous. But what it does well is like when it ends, it comes to a conclusion for both characters.
Yeah.
Like they both meet an end, and so it's like everything you've been watching up to that point, it pays off because one of the characters gets what he wants, and the other character reaches a finale, and then both characters reach the finale that you feel like they both deserved.
Mhm.
All the meanwhile, you never find out if it was psychological or if it was supernatural.
Yeah.
So I think that movie is able to deliver a message and keep the sense of ambiguity while still reaching an end. And I think that's what men needed. Because when this movie ends, I don't feel like the payoff was that strong.
Yeah.
Like I don't feel like all the tension and stuff. I don't feel like it came to a explosive end. I'm not saying it needs to be fucking
Yeah.
It needs to be
Tarantino.
rewritten. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It doesn't need to have like a big action sequence, but I just
Mhm.
feel like we deserve to see like a finale for her.
Yeah.
Like
and-
Morbius, huh?
Exactly.
Morbius.
She needed
Yeah.
to fly off to the sky with fucking bats behind her. And it's Morbin time.
Oh my gosh.
I feel like it could have had a good solid ending, and the message would have still been very strong. Like I know it's a very artsy film, but I think an ending, like a definite end, would have made the movie even stronger and made like more people like it. Well, I don't know how people are liking it
I
right
think-
now.
I think I like
I
it.
felt there was a definite end.
Yeah.
Exa-
But
I actually I completely agree with you. I didn't think about that was her closure. Yeah. And I do
But-
feel like that was the end, and then the typical like I found myself, I'm happy at closure, and then she like smiles and then boom, you get hit with the ending. Like I think that's what it was. You felt like it just needed more.
I think the whole
Yeah, because like she shows up, the monster thing is missing. So
Yeah.
what the fuck happened to that? But it's real because we see the bloodstains, we see the crash car. So it definitely happened. But how the fuck did it happen? I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah,
And then
what if it's
she's
just all-
pregnant. Like I get like that's supposed to be like up to us to decide.
Mhm.
But it just left me wanting more. Like how is she? Like I wish we at least had the conversation between her and her friend.
at
Like
the end, yeah, like
like
Okay, yeah.
some
because
idea.
it left too many cliffhangers, and it doesn't seem like they're gonna make another one. So why would you leave that many cliffhangers?
Oh, they
Yeah.
never.
It's just a way to
No.
just
That's what they like to
it's
do.
just a way to just keep the
It-
talk.
it's an artsy thing.
Well, this is why, because look how we're talking about it. It's just
Yeah.
a way of you have to be
You
like,
know what?
oh, I
You're
know, I
right.
know, I know.
But I know
fucking-
that's what I'm
I-
saying. It's supposed to be like that because that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. I kept relating this to Midsummer. Well, you guys have seen that, right?
Yeah,
No comment.
love that song.
Sam.
I know, dude.
You haven't seen Midsummer either,
How?
but you've watched Morbius. But you don't want to
Listen,
watch
I know.
Midsummer.
It's Morbin time.
It's on. I think it's on Netflix too.
It is, yeah. I keep
That-
scrolling
that's
through
a,
it.
That's a good movie.
You wanna
That
watch? I'm gonna
movie's
watch Yu-Gi-Oh!
Weird as
instead.
fuck too.
That movie. That's what I'm saying. Okay, the way you see men, if you see Midsummer, like you'll probably make connections. But like her ending, like Florence Pugh when she like, I
But
don't
that's
wanna
like a
talk.
whole
I
like
can't talk. We can't talk because of Sam.
yeah, but that's more like culty. Midsummer.
I don't want to do it to you, Sam.
Actually, I really want to see it now, so don't spoil it.
I'm not.
I'm gonna see it this week, though. I
What
promise, guy.
to me in my eyes that movie's like not even based on like psychological or anything. It's more of a cult because
But
What?
but
Someone's
some,
talked about it.
supernatural
It's
shit
very-
happens,
it's,
right?
It's very
It is very cult
yeah,
like,
it's
but
very
it's
very
also
culty.
There's
No, did-
supernatural shit that happens.
No.
not really.
No.
They just use like
It's cult.
I guess yeah. It's like yeah, because like I don't want to say stuff because you haven't watched it and you're over
I
here
know.
like
Okay, all I'm gonna say
Uh-huh.
is that I know the director Ari Aster. He wrote that film and directed it after a breakup. That's why I'm like, because I know that information, I'm like, it's more than it being like a cult.
but you can see where I come from when you
for
go there.
sure. I think,
If-
I mean, the first
That shit. It was
what-
like Lollapalooza, my boy. That's literally what it feels like. You go to. You feel like you're going to Lollapalooza.
yeah.
I've never been there either.
Me neither, but I know it's flowers and stuff. But like, yeah, like you're gonna see it and you're gonna
Dark
understand
Coachella.
what I'm
Just Dark
saying.
You know what?
Coachella.
Just fucking talk about it, because I didn't see it. It's
You've
my
had like
fault.
4 years to
I
watch,
know.
or like 3 years, and you still haven't watched
It's,
it.
you go ahead, guys. Say it.
No. Okay.
The people want to know.
Okay, so
your opinion.
They go like this.
all right, so
And then she gets
And then
fucking,
he goes
she gets drunk. they literally go,
And then
she
he
gets
gets,
drunk.
like, the-
yeah.
you don't remember when he gets she gets the little
And men?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The little thing in her mouth. That
yeah, you need to hit me with that.
too.
It was like a Tesla, and she just takes it, and it goes downhill from there.
A Tesla?
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
What is it? Like a like the one you
Some
drive?
people know what it is. I'll tell you that. All right, but she had a little fun, is what it looked like, and
She used a popper?
kind of, I guess, not really, but in a sense. But yeah, like even that film, like
I thought she was gonna get hypnotized after that. Like she was gonna get all like stupid for the guys and be like, "Oh yeah."
And
like-
men?
I thought she did, but she got hypnotized for a different
What is-
reason.
what is-
The whole point was like
I don't know. Then she ended up stabbing him. So I'm like, "Oh, okay."
What did you think it meant then? That
I thought she was
have
gonna
no
get kind of
clue.
like, "All right, like I'm ready for you."
Oh, like
That's-
call-
yeah,
that's
because
what I thought was
that,
gonna
that's
happen.
what happens in the movie too. You see a scene where they're just like some girls just getting piped.
in
They're
Midsummer?
just laying. Yeah,
Wait, I thought we were talking about men.
Let's
I
talk
thought you said
about
talking about
men.
Midsummer.
Okay, no, but let's talk
I
about
swear
what.
we're talking about Midsummer.
Okay, so let's talk about the scene where he does blow the fairy dust in her nose. What do you think that meant? Because I have no fucking
Fairy
clue.
dust?
It's not like
Isn't
fairy
that-
dust. It's like
it's
it's like a leaf that's on the earth that's like psychedelic. I think. I'm pretty sure it's like a psychedelic like actually
So he-
grown. I'm not gonna go much into it 'cause I'm not a
Wait.
fucking.
Is that what that was? I was thinking it was those little things we used to blow as little kids.
No, it was a
The
dandelion.
poppy leaves?
The,
The
there
poppy-
you go,
poppies?
dandelion.
The dandelion. Because remember that the first scene in the movie is a dandelion.
Yeah.
And then
but I thought it was
throughout
more
the
like-
movie you keep
I
seeing
thought
the
they mix it
dandelion.
with some shit and they like give it to her. They're like,
How did you know?
Dude,
when,
he's
when did
at
he mix
that-
it?
No, at that point he's like full monster. He has like fucking
because I've smelled
Roots.
dandelions. I'm fine. I'm not fucking.
When's the last time you been to the doctors?
I'm fine.
Go back.
Yeah, smelled some and
Um,
then I started wearing glasses after, but
Smoked some and now I don't need
but
glasses.
yeah, I mean, we should.
But what do you think it meant though? Because I have no idea what the because like it happens, she passes out and then
And then she walks all creepy back to the place,
Yeah.
locks the door. And then I honestly thought like his hand was reaching towards like her dress. And then she ends up just stabbing him. So I'm like, I didn't understand what that meant. That was like for sure a question that I had. What was your guys' like take on that? That he blows and then goes in her mouth. And then she gets all like
because women empowerment. She was just strong minded. She's she stabs him. He's like,
maybe
"Ah."
she goes down and like. Does that happen before the priest tries to?
that's
No,
all after.
No, it's literally it's that thing. It's that thing with the.
Okay, so after he hits her with that, that's when the male birth.
Isn't it? It's
happens,
no.
right?
It's after he crashes the car. No, that's before because we crashed the car. He already has the cut. Yeah.
Okay, that's something I like too about the editing. It's fucking confusing as
Yeah.
fuck. Because remember, there's scenes where she's in the house and she's not in the house anymore, and then she's in the house, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck?
Cut that.
And then they go back to like a pretty leaf and then to rain.
Yeah.
So is that why you're just like
I honestly, because of the editing, I completely forgot what part of the timeline the
That
fairy
you know what I'm
dust
talking
happens.
about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you know when she runs him over with the car though?
Yeah.
That shit was funny as hell, dude.
Okay, wait. When did that part happen with his leg messed up? I'm like, okay, what part?
Oh no, that's when he starts when he gets the final like I guess birth You know how it comes out of his mouth instead of like his ass.
Mm-hmm.
It comes out of his mouth, and when it comes out, it's already broken.
But it comes. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
the foot
because
comes out
the
first.
foot comes out first, but it's like all deformed.
Oh, okay. There you
And
go.
then
So I was
she's
like,
like,
you know
and then
how
what'd she say? She's like, "Look what you did to me," and then she's like trying to like he's like trying to catch up to her, and he finally looks at her. He's like, "Oh, that's my fucking boyfriend. That's fucking suicide." You really don't remember, do you?
I don't remember shit.
I could.
No,
I could
no,
tell.
no. I like that. Even before we realized it was the ex, like the different copies like have their foot broken the exact way that her ex broke her foot when she
Yeah,
fell.
because the whole thing is like personifying how he died. Like even the cut with the arm, his hand falls on the
on the
gate,
spikes.
the gate, yeah, and it goes down, and he cuts his
Yeah.
hand. His legs breaks because he hits the floor. So that's the two things that like represent his death, and then I guess that's when she starts realizing. I think she realizes that once she sees the arm, because then that's when she realizes that every guy is connected, and she's like, that's what was tripping me out. I was like, okay, if all these guys are one being, was it actually like happening? Like who could have known if what if she just crashed the car trying to run away? Like what if it wasn't the thing?
What do you mean?
Like what if it's like not even saying like, oh yeah, girls are fucking, they're going through shit, but like what if it was literally all in her head and she was just trying to find that remorse? But then there's a lot of stuff that happens, like like the fucking window getting broken, with
Yeah,
the
but I
little
mean
crow.
that's pretty much squashed when the friend
The
shows
crow.
up, and everything is literally there. Because I thought for a second like the friend shows up, and I was like, okay, if the car isn't there, the shit's not broken, and there's no blood stains other than on her, that means she was fucking losing it, But then everything is there, so that kind of pretty much like answers the question of whether or not it was psychological. It's like, no, it literally happened. I just wish we knew
What happened to the thing? I feel like
Yeah,
if we
like,
knew what happened to the thing, it would answer so many questions. That's why I'm still
Yeah.
bringing up that like idea that could be one, because we don't know what happened to the thing.
Yeah, maybe I'm a low key, I mean, low IQ individual, but I would have loved to know if it was like a demon.
That's
or
what I
a
would have wanted to know
monster,
too.
Really?
or an
Yeah.
alien. I just wish I had some. I mean, we didn't have to know directly, but just some ending to the fucking monster, dude.
But that's the thing. A24 does those type of things that just makes you like, so what happened? You know what I mean? I'm surprised you guys haven't gone in detail with like when he ends up grabbing her neck, like
Oh,
little
yeah.
things like that. I
that
thought
scene
was
was
just
disgusting.
like, you know what I mean? Other than like those parts where you pick up, you're like, oh, this is what that means. How did you guys feel with those like scenes? Like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna
When
actually.
they're in their apartment.
No. Like when the priest was getting all weird and saying,
Oh, when he like
like this
closes
is
the
what
door.
I'm saying. Like that's why I
saw
feel
her.
like a lot of this, and I know it's like such a sketchy thing to talk about, but it's like, why was he making those ugly, remarks where he's just like, this is like you have the power,
Dude,
and
I
stuff like
think
that.
I think that goes back to like the kind of archetype of man that he is. Like he is like the kind of like mentally abusive guy that is like overly religious. Like they try to hide all their desires
Ew.
with
For God.
with
Like their
exactly.
answer
They'll
is
be
God.
like, oh, have you read your Bible today? Dude, I know a guy like that.
And then he was like,
I love
when
you
did
though,
you
bro.
lose your virginity? I was like,
Yeah, like
Oh yeah, you asked her
see,
that.
to religious, like to overly religious people, like that kind of shit is like a fucking real thing that matters to them, and like
That's how they'll view you.
and they don't realize it's like their own kink, but they hide it with their religion. They'll be like, oh, it matters because according to the
Ew.
Bible, you
Yeah,
get you
that's
get
creepy.
you
But
get
since you did, sorry, just cutting out. But since you did pick that up, like you guys picked up the nice guy, the Airbnb guy, and the fact that he made that remark too. Oh, my dad said that I'm not a real man, basically like a real soldier. What did you guys pick up with the other ones, like the bar, the bartender, the guy that was just drinking the beer and sitting there all creepy, and then the cop. Like, what were since that's actually great, and I understand and I totally see that they're just different, I guess, types of men. What are those? Like,
I guess
how did you guys see those?
the bar guy is a guy who just sees it happening, but he doesn't do anything. He's the one that he knows what's going on. everyone has seen a situation where something's happening, and then there's always those
You're blowing my
bystanders.
mind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's
I
always
didn't think about that.
bystanders that are just like, I'm not doing anything, and then that's what leads to stuff happening. But all of them are technically just bystanders because that's how guys are. Guys honestly aren't gonna be ones to be like,
Like,
oh,
I didn't
white
see
knight,
anything.
a white knight and be like, no, stop that.
Yeah.
No, they'll just be like, oh,
They'll,
well,
like,
it's
even
none of my business. So,
Mhm.
I'd rather just focus on myself. But that's what puts those girls, that's what put her in that position of like,
Mhm.
she was looking for someone. She was looking at the cop. And then he's like, well, we let him go because there was nothing, he was just naked. So we let him go.
Yeah.
And she's like, what do you mean you let him go? And he's like, well, what do you want us to lock him up for? Like, he did nothing.
Yeah.
And
I thought that was crazy.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I feel like that's also stuff that happens all the time that
Oh yeah, dude.
they don't pick it up and they're just like, well, I mean, there's nothing we can do,
Mhm.
and it's like,
Maybe it's even like on a societal level, like how law enforcement like excuses like
Ooh.
men behavior when
mhm.
there's like their
Women.
warning signs to with women.
Like sexual harassment or
Like
sexual
they take
assault
when they
or
take
something,
sexual
yeah.
assault lightly, when they're obviously warnings to like a bigger tragedy that's about to happen. Dude, for me, I just thinking about like
Morbius.
I mean, besides Morbius,
Okay.
I mean, what else can you think about? It's the greatest
Yeah.
movie in the 21st century. Jeffrey Donham, you know how he's like one of the like craziest serial killers. Dude, he went to jail like a bunch of times for like random shit, but they never kept him that long.
I actually don't know who that is. I
Jeffrey
thought you
Dahmer?
said Jeffrey Dahmer. I was like, well, I know who that is.
Wait, Jeffrey Dahmer? Is that a comedian?
Oh my gosh, that is
Wait,
a comedian.
are you
Why was
talking
I
about?
thinking of
Wait,
Dahmer,
let me make sure if-
the dude that eats the guys?
That's what I'm thinking about. Sorry, did I say his name wrong? What's his name? Jeffrey.
Jeffrey Dahmer, no?
Dude, I think I said the fucking comedian. Yeah,
You
I
said
said
Jeff
the-
Dunham, huh?
I said that's a
The
that's a ventriloquist. Oh my god.
The ventriloquist guy.
You were talking, and I was like,
You're like, who the fuck are you? You're like, it's Jeffrey Dahmer, dumbass.
yeah, Jeffrey Dahmer.
Okay. Cut that. No, okay. Right, Jeffrey Dahmer, right? He got caught a bunch of times, but they never like
Kept him that long.
kept him that long. Yeah, and he ended
Well,
up
what
killing
about-
like 15 people.
What about that movie with Zac Efron? The
Oh,
Ted Bundy.
Yeah.
How
Ted Bundy.
he killed a bunch of people, and then I guess he was just like, oh, it wasn't me. So then they were, yeah, literally, that's literally says like it wasn't me, and they're like,
Not me.
all right, man, go. But he was under investigation, and he
No,
did a
it
bunch.
wasn't just that. It was the fact that I think that's why a lot of men get offended. It's like he was charismatic and he was good looking and handsome.
So they thought of it as confidence. So
They're
it's-
like,
that's why they're like, oh,
you're too cute to be
you're
killing.
another
Exactly.
Ted Bundy.
Isn't that kind of sad? Because it's like I guess they base it off looks too. Because if a guy's
Well,
kind
that's
of
well, even
really.
that whole sense.
Mhm.
It's like that's why girls are scared because, of course, unattractive. Like you don't know what a guy could do. An attractive
Yeah.
man could come up to like be as confident and be like a normal guy. Like that's I guess the interpretation of the movie was like it's someone else in someone else's skin. So in the sense of I'm nice to you, but you really don't know who I am. You don't know what I could do to you. In the sense of I can
think
I
that
can
keeps
get
going.
your attention and I can talk to you, keep your attention, get you to like me, but in the end, I know I'm gonna get what I want in a sense.
I think that
Which
like,
is
that
very
goes
mean way to
back
say
to
it,
like the message of like even the nice guy compared to like
The asshole, the
the
kid.
the asshole and the stalker, they're all equally terrifying to women because like the nice guy will hide his intentions through his actions. The stalker is way more direct, but in the movie, like the fucking nice guy ends up chasing her with the car, almost fucking kills her.
Well,
So it's like they're equally
give him the benefit of the
terrifying.
doubt.
I know.
Though.
Maybe he
He
just
got
wanted to
run
talk.
over first, so I would run over back.
Yeah.
There you go, dude.
He was like, wait, and
in
he just gets
action.
run over. Yeah.
Yeah. So
But yeah, the whole
So-
I mean, the moral of the story is, men ain't shit.
man ain't shit, dude.
Yeah.
That should have
that's
been the
literally-
subtitle of the movie. Men.
And then at the
Ain't
end,
sh-
yeah,
ain't shit.
in the end credits, just ain't shit. It just comes out.
Men
as-
will
yeah.
return. And
Yeah.
Ain't shit.
Men will always be.
All right, guys.
Shit.
So I want to ask you guys, out of 10, what would you rate Men? Directed by Alex Garland.
I'll be pretty nice this
I
movie. 'cause-
think I'd be like 7.5, maybe 8.
7.5, maybe 8.
I was-
7.7.
7.7. Yeah. No, I would give it a pretty solid like 8 or 9. I'll probably give it like a 9 because I really like the fact that you can actually think about this kind of stuff after the movie. Like how we got out of the movie and we were like, bro, what the hell just happened? Like we were talking about it. We were like, what happened to this? What happened to that? Like, why do you think this happened? And we started talking about it. Like, oh, I think this is the meaning, but we could be wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely good at opening a discussion. Like, and because it's relevant too. It's not just like some made up fucking fantasy.
Yeah, it's actually based on like stuff that's actually happening.
And I think that's what makes it scarier too. Like, yeah, it's like there's a horror element, but then it's tied to real world shit. And like you said, like you got really mad when he said like, men will sometimes hit women. It just happens. Like,
you got to deal with
that.
That
was gross. I'm just like, ew. Like that's not. You know what I mean? It's just. I felt like it was just taking light into every single little thing. Mm-hmm. But I saw your face, and I want to know why was my 7.5 not good? It was because of for that reason.
Let me give you my rating.
You're a really mean critic, man. It was a good movie.
No, it was good. 7's good. 5
That's
is
what
right.
I say all the time.
7's a C.
6 is okay.
7's a C. You barely passed.
7's like a pat on the back.
That's literally how I rate them too. I'm like, dude, if it's completely mid, that's 5.
Midsummer?
Actually, like 5 to 6 is mid. 7 means it's good. Like it's like enjoyable.
I know, but I guess I saw him.
See,
I said 7.5, 8. Like that's what I'm saying. I can be honest. I think I'm being biased because I've seen other A24 films, and maybe I don't know enough work, of Alex Garland. But I just feel like
he did Ex Machina.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
he did.
I love that.
See, and I feel like this film. Honestly, I just felt like it was just kind of what everyone likes right now, like the artsy, not sure what's going on, but I'm going to throw in a few things, make a few symbols that can tie into everybody else, and people can have their different perspectives, and it's like, boom, it's different. I like it. And I think it was obvious to me that I think that's why I have to give it like a 7.5 or an 8.
Wait, what was yours? What was your rating?
I'm going to give Men, directed by Alex Garland, I'll give it a 7. Okay. Because I enjoyed it too. Erick's mad at me.
Yeah. You gave Morbius a 10 and you gave Men a 7?
That's because that's Morbius. It sold 8 more billion tickets. I mean, dude, think about it. But I give Morbius 8 more billion out of 10.
No.
But dude, it's like I completely agree with you. Like it's good at opening the discussion, but I think it leans too far into the symbolic where some things are like I like the fact that she shows up and immediately eats the apple like Eve, He's like,
what are you doing?
But I think it's almost too obvious. Like, oh, come on, you're gonna eat the apple.
You're just putting symbolism in there, like
you're just
on
like
purpose.
That is literally like how I saw it and how I felt. Like I don't know.
The ending symbolism was good. The ending symbolism was good because that's when you're like, oh shit, all these guys are the same.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of it, like that's like the main, like the symbolism is what makes the movie great, But I think a few times it just overdoes it. I don't know. Like if you ask like an artsy person who likes like abstract art, they probably give this movie like a fucking 20 more billion out of 10.
Yeah, exactly.
They probably love the fuck out of this, and I just think it's also something else that I didn't think about till recently was like when she does that song that into the tunnel. I didn't realize, but the tunnel is like it's like wet and it's like dripping.
You think it's like the womb? And did I just make something up right now?
You think it was the birth
it's
of
the
someone?
Cave pussy.
The
Kasusi.
Oh
the Kasusi.
It's the Kasusi.
Because he's naked. He's naked there. He comes out and he starts running.
You know what? You're right. And were they? Wait.
We just
10 more billion out of 10.
And didn't that have that weird tie with like the deer that it was going and then it was just end up at the rebirth. It was dead and that was the rebirth. The whole.
Oh shit!
Oh, that is all right. I mean, I guess we kind of made something out of that.
Yeah, because it starts from there and ends in
this 10 more billion times.
And then
I didn't even think about it, but the man comes out naked from the pussy from the what's he called? the kabusi. He comes out naked from the katusi, the kabusi, and then he starts chasing her immediately. So it's like
butt naked.
I don't even know what
Middle
the
of the
fuck
day.
that means, but I mean, like,
Stun's still out.
it's like a paradox, you know. Women give birth to these men, and then these men fucking torment women. I don't know. I don't know what it's trying to say, but you know, the discussion is fire.
How would you guys, after seeing this, how would you guys
rate
like,
men, like
I
in
rate
real
the
life?
discussion 10 out of 10.
Oh, yeah, there you can go everywhere on
Mhm.
this. You know what I mean? Like the fact that I saw this like in a very like I think women would probably like hardcore this is sick, you know? Shows how men are weird
Yeah.
and how they're just creepy
Fuck
and they don't let us do what we want, you know? But
I noticed a lot of like TikTok comments, like, because the ads, like, a lot of the like younger guys like think it's cringe and they hate it, and then like there's a lot of girls commenting like, "Oh, notice it's all the men
That are
saying-"
mad about it.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
okay, so what do you think? I'm gonna give you guys
Yeah.
a really good question to think about. What do you think in a sense of, like, how does it actually perceive us? Because even the guys who don't do nothing, we're still doing something wrong. Even though we're not trying to put ourselves in that position, like you say, you see a girl like at a bar and she's
Mhm.
actually someone's approaching her, but she feels uncomfortable, and you're like, you know what? It's not my thing. Technically, we're still doing something wrong. So are we
Yeah.
obligated to always do something, or do we always have to like bite our tongue and try to like avoid certain situations? Because either way, we're kind of fucked. We're still gonna be seen as someone who either avoids the situation of what's actually going on, or someone who joins it and could be perceived as something that we're not.
I mean, I think that's why like communication is very important, because
I'm not gonna kill you, man. It's cool.
I'm not gonna follow you home, but where do you live? No, it's like
Yeah.
it's like and I suck at communicating, but if you if like, you know, it's cheesy, maybe it's white knighty, but that's why sometimes it's good to have a guy be like, "Yo, is he bothering you?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this young?
You know, and then
Hello,
no, that's
young
my
lady,
boyfriend.
Is this
Oh,
man
fuck.
bothering you?
No, but see, like that's the thing. I appreciate that. Like, you know, the fact
You know,
that you
see?
had to kind of creep into it, like I don't
Yeah.
want to be
See,
weird.
but that's
I-
what Ted Bundy did. Look what happened.
Yeah,
Wait,
you're
what?
right.
Ted
there can
Bundy,
be,
he was
like-
confident. He was the confident one. He would go up to you and be like, "Yeah." And look what happened.
No, but
No
see,
one's safe.
No, but Sam is like, you know, I guess trying to be the gentleman, but I guess sometimes that can be like, I can't.
Well, it's because sometimes it's their boyfriend. Oh no, we just talk like that. Oh, what the fuck? But either way, that's why I say the
We
communication.
just talk like that.
Yeah.
She's crying in the corner.
They're like, ew, what the
I'm
fuck is wrong
fine.
with you?
Ew.
No,
Yeah.
but that's why I say communication is important, because it's like, I'm not trying to like flirt with you, but I'm just like, is he bothering you?
Yeah, I'm just trying to check on you.
Yeah, like I'm trying to check on you. You know, it's like that goes a long way.
But
I
that's
feel
how
like.
society has put us to
You
this
know,
point.
if you go and be like, this guy bothering me, you should
come with me.
You should come with me instead. Trust me, I got a fucking Lambo parked in the back.
I got a Honda
I'll
with
make you feel
200,000
safe.
miles
I
just
got a
waiting.
1992 Honda Civic. So I think, yeah, communication is important, you know, so that we can get your intentions across strong. But I know what you mean, because even in the movie, the nice guy,
He stole that.
his intentions are not.
Not even to
are
like do
not
anything with
clear.
her. He's just like, oh, like there's a guy bothering you. I'm gonna go outside and check. He
I
doesn't
know.
gives no fucks. He's like,
And
where
then
are
he
you?
and then
He put
dicks.
on his big
Yeah.
fence. He's like, oh, you know, you better keep away. I'm
Yeah,
out here.
and
I
he
was
turns
like,
around.
"Oh."
No one's here. The light turns off, and I'm
He's
like,
gone.
oh shit, he's one of them. I was
Yeah.
like, no way, he was the guy. He's
Yeah.
the cool one.
So fuck. I think that's why the movie's good. You got this.
Men ain't
discussion
shit.
going. Men ain't shit. I mean, at the end of the day.
I look in the mirror disgusted
Oh my god.
every day.
After I saw that movie, I could never look in the
How
mirror
dare
again.
you? How dare you do this?
How dare you? Looking in the mirror. How dare you? Taking
That's-
my childhood.
After seeing this film, does this give you guys a better insight on how to be around women?
It gets me even more
No.
scared because even if I'm nice, I'm still could be.
Creepy?
No,
I'm
I'm not.
just worried
I
that
could
I'll-
still be perceived
You're
as
so
like,
creepy.
yeah, hey there. It's just like, oh, I fucked up. Never mind. I'll leave you alone forever, and you just walk away.
Mm-hmm.
I just hope
It's
I
scary.
never give birth like that, you know?
Yeah, and the batussi or the kapussy or whatever
One
we're
day I'll
calling
run
it.
out of naked, out of the caboose. I'm fucking full sprint
Yeah, but it also
Schlong out and
perceives
everything.
like
on soft.
I could see you guys like good dad
kabussis.
moms.
Oh,
Good
Running
dad
at the
moms.
caboose. Full sprint.
That song's playing where you're at the bar, you're just running. No,
Yeah.
but it's even, yeah, I mean, I still get that perspective of there's still gonna be a lot of like doubts in our heads if we would
I mean,
want to
I-
approach someone, because of course you're thinking of every single like outcome. That's how I think. I try to think of every single outcome before I even do something, because I'm like, I could say this, but it could do this. This could happen.
Yeah.
So there's always a bad outcome, even if you approach it in a confident way. You don't know how a girl's gonna take it.
Mhm.
Like, what makes you think you could talk to me?
I loved that. Has that happened to you?
Me? No.
No, we're
But it
still
could
honest.
happen.
It
That's
happens
in the
to me,
possibility.
but not like verbal. She'll just do this to me. She'll be like, and then I'm like, man,
Sorry for bothering.
I didn't want to talk to you anymore.
All right, but I think
I'm not butthurt.
I think we hit
Text
men
me
on a
back.
pretty good level. So let's talk about. Let's try to talk about what's your favorite A24 movie?
That's a great question.
Oh, that's hard.
That's a great question.
I know mine. I can do it fast. I know.
Let's
mine.
hear it.
Uncut Gems.
Oh, that's a banger right
Uncut
there.
Gems.
Uncut Gems.
Uncut Gems.
That's a
The
That
good
movie
Weeknd's
was-
in it.
Oh,
Kevin Garnett. Oh my god.
dude, Kevin Garnett playing himself, and he's such a
The
like,
Weeknd.
he's such a good actor.
Isn't The Weeknd
Yeah,
playing
he's
himself
playing
too?
himself too, yeah.
Yeah, everyone plays himself. That's
That's
good
it.
acting.
Why the fuck would you show me this shit if I
Yeah.
couldn't have it?
Yeah.
I love that scene, dude. But dude, Kevin Garnett should seriously do acting. Like once he's done.
No, that whole movie.
Wait, did he retire already? I don't watch basketball.
KG?
Dude, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He retired, right?
Yeah, Kevin Garnett. Yeah.
He needs to do more acting.
Wait, so why do you like it? Wait, I know. Wait, Sam. I also wanted to know yours. I'm like thinking about
It's
mine
just
because
the
I feel like
I
there's
think
so
the
many.
story is really good. Even the ending was like, oh shit! Like
I
he
love
just
the
gets
kind
blasted,
of
and I'm
yeah.
like, what the fuck?
That movie felt really real to me because like it's like it doesn't try to softening up his character. Like he's a gambling addict and
Mhm.
he's a bad person. Like he puts his family in last.
Second, yeah,
Yeah,
His
it's
job's
like-
always first.
His job's first.
Yeah.
And his even keeps his mistress like
Yeah, I
like,
was gonna
up
say
there.
that. You're saying his
Yeah,
wife, and he's
she's
over here
like-
banging like his fucking the girl that
She's
works
like
there
the
with
queen
them.
right
Yeah,
now.
and then
Dude,
she's
she
over
had that
she's
thing
over
in
here
that
banging
movie,
the
dude.
weekend.
Yeah,
not
she
even-
did.
She's
Yeah.
banging the weekend too.
She had a whole shelf in that movie, bro.
She's like, "What are you doing in the restroom?" And he's in there with like the weekend.
oh,
Yeah, you remember?
forgot that,
He's like,
yeah.
"My girl's in there." I was like, "That's not your girl no more, bro. She's for the streets.
She's for the
you
weekend.
lost her, bro."
Yeah, man. I love that. I love movies like that are like they're about bad people and they never
Oh,
try
so
to
that's-
they never try to redeem
Like they
them.
don't prosper.
No, like a morally bad person. Like you know, a lot of times they'll
Like
have
Scarface.
yeah, like
This-
Scarface, exactly,
like
like
that?
Scarface. They don't try to redeem him at all.
No,
Like his fucking the movie goes on and he becomes a worse person.
yeah, he becomes a drug
You know?
lord.
Yeah, he becomes a drug lord.
and then he
Kills
kills
his
his
best
terminated.
friend.
Yeah, he kills his best
That
friend
scene was
'cause-
sad as fuck.
when he kills his best friend because he's messing with his
The
girl.
eyes never lie. Is that what he said?
Yeah,
So it's the action. You guys like the
I mean, Uncut Gems wasn't meant for like action. It was
I
not
just-
really a
no,
lot
but
of
it was just like
action.
it was a lot. Like
Mhm.
It was a roller coaster.
yeah, for sure.
It's a good
I
story.
just think it's really raw to have like a bad person and not try to redeem him because it's really popular to have like an anti-hero where like they're a bad person but their journey is becoming
you're onto
a
something.
better person. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And then what
but they
Uncut
can't
Gems
get there.
does is they don't even try to make him a good person. They just put him on this journey and it's like it's really exciting because you want to see if he wins or not, but at the same time you're not rooting for him because he's not the best person. So there's things about him that you hate. Like, oh, dude, I wish you took care of your fucking family.
Yeah,
you know?
but I thought at the end when he does the bet, he was trying to just get like past all the bad shit he's done because he makes that one bet and in the
Mhm.
end he wins, but he gets shot.
Mhm.
And then they're like, "Oh my god!" Because he wasn't he supposed to like run away with the mistress?
yeah, like
Yeah.
she already packed
He-
her shit.
Yeah,
It
she
was
packed her
ob-
shit. He's like,
It
"Go
was
get
so
our winning."
obvious that he was not gonna like. He just had the wife there because it's just okay.
Well,
see,
because
like,
he had kids with them. I mean,
yeah, but like
you have
that's
the
what kinda,
obligation.
Like, you know, it's giving me Tony Soprano vibes. Like you just keep her there. It's just
Soprano, isn't that like a pizza?
Sopranos?
Oh,
No, you're thinking about
Sopranos.
DiGiorno.
Have you guys watched The Sopranos? You guys would, if you guys love, if you guys love Uncut Gems,
I'm
you guys
fired.
would love The Sopranos. Love The
I
Sopranos.
heard. Do you like
Pizzas?
Sopranos more than Breaking Bad?
You know what? I've seen Breaking Bad bits and pieces. I think Breaking Bad is a lot better, but I think The Sopranos for its time is amazing.
Mm-hmm. So
Yeah, but I
Breaking
think-
Bad wouldn't have happened without Sopranos happening. You think?
I don't know.
It's in the same universe.
Not really.
Yeah.
Because it's more like the mafia. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you guys have seen, like, if you guys like Uncut Gems, you guys would like The Sopranos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it has, like, the same thing. It's constant going back and forth. I mean,
Watch The Godfather.
if that's your guys' cup of tea, oh, yeah, it's like that. It's literally like, but it's just continuous because it's a show. I'm
check
surprised
it
you
out.
guys haven't seen it. I'm not gonna lie.
I see
I'm
so
sorry.
many memes on The
I'm like
Sopranos.
her.
I'm
right
sorry. What do
now.
you want me to do? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh, okay.
I only have so much time in my day.
You know what?
You have so
Fuck
much time in your day
work.
for anime.
I'm a.
Yeah,
We don't
see?
want-
Yeah, because you're like,
We don't
oh.
believe in weebs over here, okay? If you're a weeb.
Don't call Morbius an anime. Don't you ever do that again. What's your favorite A24 movie?
Good question.
So
Why
we don't get stuck on
I know.
This
Uncut
entire-
Gems for
Sopranos.
25
This entire
hours.
time, I thought it was Uncut Gems.
Oh no, that
because
was
you-
his.
That was
Oh.
mine.
That was his
No, I
Uncut
know, but
Gems.
like you were like agreeing, so I'm like, oh, you
I
really
know.
like.
I love it though.
But I want to hear
I
your
give
guys'
it.
movies.
I give it a 9 out of 10. Uncut Gems, 9 out of 10.
I give it a 10. That's a good ass movie.
10 out of 10.
I see
baby.
no problems with that movie at all.
I give it a
There you
9
go.
just because it was not predictable in any way. You never
Yeah.
knew what was going on, and it was just like
Not predictable at
Yeah.
all. Julia Fox had the wagon. I mean,
yeah.
Oh, when he's on the couch.
dude, that scene was crazy, bro. I think I snuck
For
in a
some
few
reason,
theaters.
my fucking Netflix, it kept rewinding it. So I was like,
Oh, yeah, for some
it's
reason.
Netflix.
my internet went down or something. It just
I
kept
don't know,
rewinding
it kept looping her ass cheeks.
I was
don't
like,
know
what the? My mom was about to come in. I was like,
Can't
oh
look-
shit, oh shit.
Okay, so for me, for the longest, my favorite A24 film, I can't get off these movies nuts. It was The Lighthouse, right? I love
I
it.
knew it.
But
I knew it. I was
Morbius.
waiting for it to come out of your
Was it
mouth.
Morbius A24 film?
I think
think it was a
yeah,
A24
dude. I
film.
think it's the best indie film ever, Morbius. But
You guys are lying.
no, you haven't seen Morbius?
No, I've seen Morbius, but I didn't know it was A24. Or you guys are kidding? Oh, you guys are kidding. Kidding. I was like, there's no freaking way.
10
right
more
now.
billion tickets
Why
sold
would
worldwide.
Morbius even be a joke?
I don't know. I know you. I'm sorry. You guys are diehard fans.
Morbius versus Wong coming 2023 this fall. Okay, so before it would be The Lighthouse for the longest, but as of March this year, I got a new king of
Oh, I know where you're going with
A24.
this.
Yup. Everything, everywhere,
yeah.
all at once, baby.
Oh, the real multiverse.
Yeah.
yeah, dude.
That movie's
Doctor Strange ain't got
crazy,
shit
bro.
Yeah.
on Everything Ever All at Once.
That movie
And
puts a weird perspective on like
I kind of want to find her
that
name.
whole like idea of, because it's based on the multiverse. She's literally just going
Yeah.
from universe to universe, and each one she has a different life.
I
Like-
had like a problem connect. When I watched
first
it,
watched
I was
it?
just like thinking of like Doctor Strange. I'm like, this is weird. And then the whole eye thing, and then like the weird little.
Oh yeah, she gets
Yeah.
the middle eye. That's all
I love the googly eyes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a googly eye. I was like, no.
So
way.
Doctor Strange ain't got shit on Michelle Yeoh. Is that how you say your last name?
I don't know.
Was it YEOHL?
Yeah.
YEO.
Yell,
Yeoh?
yell,
Yell?
yell. I'm pretty sure it's
Ooh.
yell.
Sounds wrong, but
It's like,
I
or it could
believe
be
you.
like soul. That's yol. It could be like soul.
Michelle Yeoh.
HEOHL.
How do you know
I'm just
that?
gonna call her Michelle. Dude,
It's
so
school. I don't know. Books. I don't know.
you know how to read?
No, the pictures.
The Flipperama. So Everything Everywhere All at Once, dude. It you can't even put it into a genre. That's what's so
Mhm.
beautiful about it. You know,
Okay,
it
that's a
starts
good one.
off. It's kung fu movie, but then it's obviously sci-fi. Like it's obviously like inspired
Funny.
by The Matrix. You know.
Mhm.
Also, yeah, it's a comedy.
like a
too.
comedy
it's,
one.
It's funny as hell. But I think at its core, it's a family drama. You know,
Mhm.
it's like the conflict of like being accepted by your family. It's like it's overwhelming, you know, especially if you have like a strong like family connection. You know, it's like I love the fact that, you know, the grandpa's visiting and it just puts this burden on the mom, which she puts her burden on the daughter, and it's like they're all at each other's throats.
Mhm.
And then they mix that with like the sci-fi element, and it creates some fucking badass scenes too, you know, like I just keep remembering like towards the end when they're like on the staircase and you see all the bodyguards like
yeah.
they all pose and shit
They're
like
like,
like dude,
that show's like a Power Rangers.
yeah,
That show was,
it was
yeah.
fire. And then there's also the layer of like of like nihilism, you know, like the daughter believes like the ultimate power is believing in nihilism, like believing that nothing matters. Like that's when you reach freedom.
So the idea of like, well, I would say more of like the dharma of like momentariness, if you know what that is. Like with India and stuff, how they believe like a moment doesn't really matter, and you can't really live in a moment because it's more of a sense of, from what I know, each moment isn't really based off one off another, but you can't really be living in the moment because it doesn't really exist. So to reach true like, how do you say, nirvana
Mhm.
of like
Is
being
to be
happy
present.
is to kind of
Just
don't live in the moment.
Damn, how did
So you just
I
live.
feel like that's the opposite of
It's
that
like
I've always heard.
spirituality. Yeah, it's like it's more
So
spiritual.
where do you live then if you're not in the moment?
Riverside. It's more, yeah, it's
Oh man. Okay, I feel like I need to study that and become
yeah.
enlightened.
But what's your favorite movie?
I
You
mean,
can't copy.
I'm not gonna copy.
Okay, good.
I wouldn't. But I
My bad.
think
Morbius.
Besides Morbius.
besides Morbius, I think it on I for some weird reason I'm so obsessed and I have to say Midsummer for sure. I think it made me feel a lot of different like feelings and ways, and I'll be honest with you. I think you guys are reaching more like that's why I'm just like, oh, like I've watched a lot, but I think I like everything about it. Like the film, like the cinematic like feeling and everything, the actors, like I appreciated every single thing, the art, the symbolism to the little things that they have with their paintings when like that's what like led up to the story, kind of like this is what like a small connection of what I kept thinking was Men, with like when it kept going to that weird pillar thing that had like the face of a man and then like the like the body of a woman. I kept thinking that the same thing, like Midsummer does that. So that's why I think I was a little bothered when I saw it in Men, and I'm just like, did he kind of write off of Midsummer? So I think that's why I'm just like a little like,
What if they're all connected? We don't know. They're
You
just
never
hinting at
know.
little things.
A24 crossover films.
Yeah. But
No, that's cool. I mean, he probably was inspired by Midsummer.
maybe. Yeah. But I think
I actually saw an interview recently that he said he wrote the movie. I mean, he wrote the movie like 14 years ago, but it went through like several like rewrites.
changes.
Yeah, so I'm sure at one point he probably got that inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had me wondering, like, dude, the movie's so like relevant. How did he write it? I mean, I guess I guess it'll always be relevant, but I'm sure it's made so many changes from
I think it's
the
crazy.
original
You watched
conception.
interviews. I'm just like, oh, I watched the film. I was like, I don't want to know anybody's opinion on it. I
Yeah.
like you're saying, oh, like this person on TikTok. I'm like, should I have done that? I'm just literally writing off of what I think and felt.
From
So
the
I'm
soul.
like, yeah, from the soul, from the corazon.
Soul of a woman.
Yep. So when you watched the film, you didn't like look up any interviews or read anything else about it?
No, not really. I mean,
No?
I kind of just watched it. I only go into it when I really want to know more about it. Kind of
Mm.
like Men. Men was,
I just like men in general.
yeah, I love Men. It was just the thing of,
I love men.
Yeah.
do you, do you now? It's just the thing
think
of like, if it gives me a reason
men
to
are so
like actually
intriguing.
dig deep into it,
I mean,
I'm gonna put the time into it.
Mm-hmm.
It
I was
has to
just
have
curious.
a pretty decent weapon.
no, I say that's what I just looked up interviews because I was just
Yeah,
curious
so you
about.
just get curious, like with Men
Yeah.
too. I was even like looking.
I
up
get
stuff
curious
like,
about men.
I was actually, I think I
You were
realized you
waiting
were
for
talking
that.
about Midsummer, but I was like, oh, like, I was talking about Men. Like, did you watch interviews with men? Like, about men?
I know a lot about men.
What are we talking about, the movie or Men?
We're talking about,
The movie.
I've
or
done my
Men?
research
no, like
about
the
men.
film Men.
Let me interview you real quick, man.
I've seen a few films about men. Okay?
Oh my gosh.
Let me tell
I
you a
could
thing or
give you a
two.
list. Okay.
Please do.
First off,
was one of my
Anyways.
favorite actors.
so I hope the sequel is gonna be called Women.
Yeah, and then give them us a
Hell,
point
that
of view
movie
of
will
how
never
we
be
are,
made.
how we're always scared. 'Cause now we look bad.
Damn.
We do.
No comment. I don't
This
want
is
to
a
get
wave.
canceled.
This is a wave, and this is gonna be like
You
a
have
thing.
balls.
I know.
That's all we're hitting right now, guys.
It's just all opinions, man. It's all opinions. That's what it is. We're not. I didn't.
A
fucking
movie
write
called
the
Women
movie.
would never be made.
Yeah,
it would never.
it would be
made.
too.
It'd be too controversial.
Yeah, way too.
No, they them.
They them.
Oh
huh?
yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
They're
they,
making a
them.
horror movie called They Them.
No way.
Because yeah, she and him.
So is the
can't do that
monster
no
they
more.
them or?
Why would you even give it a?
Oh,
Let it figure it out for itself, my
I
guy.
was literally thinking the
You're
same
gonna
thing.
you're
I
trying not
was
to get
just
canceled.
like-
You're over here saying stuff like that.
Oh no!
Come on, man.
Like,
Let it
Wait,
identify-
I
you
can't.
just said that. Okay, so does that matter? Does
What?
that filter what you guys say right now? Because
Identifying.
you said, oh, like, so you don't want to get canceled. So in my head, I'm like, are you?
I've been
filtering
saying
you
what
say?
I've been saying.
Yeah.
I don't care. Yeah, it's not. I don't
I
care.
mean,
I
it
just
is,
saying
it is
I have
scary.
I have a point of view.
Yeah.
You can't really say, oh, you can't say that. Well, I can think
Mhm.
how I want to think. It's
That's
not
ex-
always right, but the thing is,
Yeah.
I'm still gonna.
The truth
I
is,
think of every certain matter. I'm not one to be like, oh, there's two genders. Like, I don't care. You could believe in whatever you want to
I
believe in.
agree.
Honestly, it doesn't bother me. Why? Because it's not affecting my life.
dude, everyone's got filters on when they're with certain people.
Yeah.
And some people have more filters than others. You know,
Well, yeah,
some
it
people are
depends on,
more
like, Who you're
outspoken.
talking to. It really depends on who
Yeah.
you're talking
You know,
to.
because especially like if you're at work, you're not gonna speak at work the way you speak to your friends. You know,
Yeah.
it's like a whole nother level of intimacy, so you feel comfortable with them.
Yeah, for sure. Kind of how
People-
like I didn't know that. I'm like, oh, I was hearing Sam. I was like, oh, okay. So like,
Yeah,
you
'cause
could.
he-
I was because I wanted to talk. I'm like, yeah, that guy. Like those guys were dickheads. You know.
Yeah, 'cause he
I
doesn't
was like
talk,
holding
huh?
myself from saying that. From like talking about
Wait.
now that connecting. Oh, I was just saying because I didn't know that. Like
Because she didn't know
who's
she could talk to
who's
you like that.
dickheads?
we're all dickheads.
Are you talking about us? Oh yeah, we're dickheads.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
more hate on us.
No. Do
I'm
you
a
guys
dickhead,
think
baby.
that that has an effect right now? Like that, like on film. Do you guys think like
Oh yeah, we
Like-
cannot make certain films anymore. We cannot.
yes, okay,
Absolutely.
like kind of how people
absolutely.
make certain things like like The Office or certain
Oh,
like
yeah.
certain remarks.
The Office was.
To be
fucking
honest with you,
king.
That hurts me so much. That hurts
Yeah.
me so much, and I think it's because I was, raised with like, my brother, him like with dark humor, sometimes being a little sexist, and I sometimes laugh. And the thing is, I sometimes feel guilty for laughing because
Mhm.
it's like I'm not standing up for women, and I should be doing my part. And I feel like sometimes film and directors, and I feel like that's what hurts them too, is that they have to kind of, I guess, filter themselves and stray away from what they really want to deliver sometimes.
Absolutely, yeah. But
Mhm.
I think that has to do more with like the studios put a bunch of pressure on like making sure the movie makes its money back and like tenfold.
Yeah.
So it has to make sure it's sellable. So
Mhm.
that's why they're super like careful about what they
The
put into the
marketing.
What
movie
they say.
and the
Yeah.
marketing, yeah, and what they say and what the message over is mostly about.
Yeah.
Because they're scared to take risk. That's why the Marvel formula, we constantly see it because it works. They know for sure they're gonna get
Yeah.
10 times back of
More
what they
billion
invest.
dollars. Yeah.
They know they will get 20 more billion dollars back.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
that's why the movie industry is affected so much, because it's such an investment to make a movie. But I think what you were saying about like you don't feel like a feminist sometimes if you laugh at something that is sexist. It's like in a
Yeah.
personal level, I think it takes confidence to be able to laugh at yourself.
I agree.
Ha ha ha.
I agree.
laughing at?
And then see, that's what I'm saying. How you only feel comfortable talking
Yeah.
about certain things. It's like, like literally can pick up like few people that I can be like, if you make sexist comments, I'm not gonna get offended. I'm just like, that was pretty freaking funny.
The
Like,
You got
context.
me there,
like
man.
you're
got
a
me
dickhead,
there.
but that was
You
hilarious.
got me there. Ha
Yeah.
ha ha. You made it funny.
Yeah, you made
I
it
don't know
funny.
how to drive. No, I think
I was waiting for like an ending, and you said you made it
Nah.
funny.
context matters. Like if it's some
Well,
fucking
yeah.
guy that like
You're not gonna meet someone at the bar. He's like, "Hey, guess what?" You're like, "What the fuck?"
get a load of this woman.
Yeah.
This fucking chick, am I right? It's like that's gonna be like, well, who the fuck
But
are
I-
you, dude? I
yeah,
don't
I
even know.
mean-
But if it's like friendly, obviously it's not done in a harmful way. It's
It's like friendly banter.
Exactly. And people would do that more in the movies back in the day. Dude, like Rush Hour. That
oh,
movie.
I love Rush Hour.
Do you not say that? Do you not understand the words that come out of
Yeah.
my mouth?
I love
They
it.
can't be making
That movie's
movies like
hella
that.
racist, but it's funny as hell
it's
because it's
great.
done with a good heart. Like,
Yeah,
it's not like,
But they
like,
can't do that anymore.
ill-intended.
you cannot
No,
do that
They can't do that anymore.
Mm-mm. Not at all. which is unfortunate. But I think in time it'll bounce back.
Oh, for sure. That's like I learned this in one of I think my philosophy class talking about film. I don't know how we ended up talking about it, but it's like a wave of right now how it's like, and I love it that right now, it's like I guess our prime of age where women are just like, like killing it, in every way. And it's like back then I think I want to say around the 80s, it was a thing too. Like for example, like the Terminator. Like she's like
Sarah
over
Connor.
here, and then yeah, good one.
But she's a
dickhead. And then an alien, like you see her just like Sigourney Weaver. Yeah, she's over here blasting aliens, and it's just like kind of you see all these women being leads into like films, and it just died out in the 90s, and then now it's like coming back.
Yeah, it comes in waves, and I think we already like hit the peak of like overly progressive films. I think we hit that like in I don't know when actually, but I think we're kind of seeing like we're going towards the other end because we have movies like
Bob's Burgers,
like Bob's Burgers, like Morbius. No, but I don't know if you saw The Northman. You see it?
I haven't seen it.
But well, in that movie, dude, that movie's brutal as fuck, dude, and they don't try to hide it at all. Like again, like they're Vikings, and it's the most accurate Viking movie ever. So it shows that like they get a bunch of children, put them in one house, and they fucking burn the house, dude. And the hero does it too. He fucking burns the house. Like, dude, they're killing children.
He's throwing sticks.
The women are slaves. They're used. They're assaulted.
Not gonna lie to you, I'm like kind of like smiling, and I'm like, oh, you're literally talking about the whole movie right now, and I haven't seen it, but we're not
and then it ends with.
No. I know. I was
and then you'll never guess.
I was literally like holding myself back from talking about it, and then you're just like, oh, the baby's burning, and I'm just like, oh. Right.
And then okay, but I think I'm just saying like we're slowly getting to the point where movies are being more unfiltered again.
Cool. Yeah.
So I think in a few years we'll have like really like a lot of freedom with like
back.
With the film.
There's only one way to find out, I guess. It's just time. If we actually start making moves in a sense.
I mean, even Wanda killing the Illuminati was pretty badass. I mean, I don't think we would have got that a few years ago.
Yeah.
We would not have got that like 2012, I feel like. Because she wasn't part of the...
Morbius wasn't there.
It all comes back to Morbius.
No, but now that we're like on the topic of back to Marvel, let's try to talk about trailers that came out. So right now, a new trailer that just came out was the SheHulk trailer. So I really want to know what you guys think about this.
Bro.
You're going to be mean, aren't you?
Why are you making so many shows, Disney? You're pissing me off. You're getting on my bad side, bro.
Getting kind of cheesy.
Dude, yeah, I just like they're spreading their budget so thin that the CGI on this movie is fucking ass.
Well, yeah, because I understand how
it looks worse.
People are making fun of the whole CGI and all that, but you gotta understand you can't really compare like Infinity War with that budget to She-Hulk.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
but
of
dude,
course, Thanos looks a certain
like,
way, and then She-Hulk looks like fucking.
But dude, I actually watched Loki. I actually love that show, dude, and I think the CGI there was fire, dude. You see, I don't know if you saw it, but at the end, like they fight like the fucking dragon thing, and I thought the CGI was like perfect. So
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, because I heard that they're trying to make like She-Hulk like less muscular to look more like a female because they don't like how she like because She-Hulk's fucking ripped. She's supposed to be ripped, but they didn't like that, so they made her like more slimmer to actually make it look like a female. And I was like, why would you like in the comics? She's
no
like,
balls.
Yeah.
You know,
Disney
like
no
juice.
balls.
And then she still has like her physique.
Yeah, like it like in the trailer, they're like, "Oh, your butt looks amazing in that dress," and I'm like,
see, okay, that's one of the things I liked because in the comics, I remember when I was really young, I'd go to the library and check out her comics, and well, I was going through a lot of things at the time. I was 11 years old. One of my balls dropped, and and she was always like sexualized, but not in a. It was like an empowering way, like she was like she was proud of her like being hot as fuck, and I like that they brought that into the show, like they brought in that she's like openly dating and like
Yeah, like in the end when she gets the guy and he
Yeah.
picks him
yeah,
up.
she's like, yeah, I'm gonna fuck the shit out of you. You know,
I
she
know,
like
and
carries
she's
him off.
like- I thought that was crazy. She's like, yeah, we'll take the fries home. I was like,
To
all
go?
right.
I was like, damn.
They're gonna get cold.
Okay.
That's what I was confused about.
I'm like, dude, you can't microwave fries. They don't taste the same anymore.
They're just all wobbly.
Tastes like shit. I'd rather eat cold
it's
fries.
disgusting.
Yeah. But I did like that they kept that about her. Like, I remember there's this one panel in the comics where it's like a joke, but like they were trying to make the case that like Jennifer Walter, like she's influenced by She-Hulk, but she's like trying to prove a point that no, she's the same. But they're like, okay,
She's trying to control it.
she was trying to say that like there's no change in personality, so they bring out a list of people. I kind of, now that I think about it, it's kind of like sexist, but they bring out a list in the comic, right? They bring out a list of people Jennifer Walter slept with, and it's like 2 people, and then they bring out a list of who She-Hulk slept with, and it's like a fucking long ass list, and she even slept with like
Oh my God.
Magneto and the Juggernaut and like all these bad.
Juggernaut.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, it's kind of
Juggernaut.
sexist.
No,
I'm
but-
like, why would the court do that? But
But I like
it's
what
a
He's a
comic
dickhead.
book.
Yeah. But I like what they introduced. Like Abomination is back.
Yeah.
Well, he was always back. He was in
Dude, the
what
whole
movie is in? He was in fucking
in Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like he looks cooler. He looks like what he's supposed to look like in the comics. He has the fish ears, the little gills
Yeah,
right here. That's
yeah,
what he looks
I
like in
love
the
that.
comments. But I'm still mad because like I still like the old Abomination. 'Cause it was
Yeah.
more hardcore. I like the old
I
Hulk.
miss
I
the
don't like
old-
the new Hulk. I don't
I
like.
miss the old Hulk. Yeah. Dude.
Yeah, the one where he
I
like
agree.
screams and you could see like he's just roided out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this guy's ready to fight. Now this fucking Hulk's
Dude,
like,
we haven't
"Hi,
seen an
guys.
angry Hulk. Yeah, dude, he's
Hi,
fucking
guys.
Korg
Yeah,
over here.
let's fucking study.
You guys,
Yeah.
the hammer pulls you off. Dude, we haven't seen an angry Hulk since 2012,
Yeah.
dude. It's
I think they're
unfortunate.
just like that's what we were saying. Like right now, when we're going back to She-Hulk, and you're saying that like Disney's just like trying to get like they're spreading themselves out way too thin.
Dude.
That like I feel like now
agree.
because then obviously now Disney bought it. That it's just trying to. It's like kids are the okay if you think about it. Kids are the ones with the iPads, with the phones. You know, we're a lot older now, so
Mhm.
they have more access to it. They're gonna be the ones driving their family, I guess, to see those films. So I think they're just trying to. A lot of it is very comedic and I guess children can understand it.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what they're trying to aim. I think that's what they're probably aiming for right now. Because I can't say that I've read the comics and I know it pretty well, but from what I know from people that like Marvel comics, they're just like, oh, it's trash. Like it's just so different than like, you know, but it's their twists and it's normal. But what would you say? Like,
Yeah, it's like there's this shift and like TV's dying, you know, like regular network TV, like most
Yeah, no one watches TV anymore.
like most millennials and like what's it, what are they called? Gen Z? Yeah, Gen Z, they don't really watch TV at all. Like they get all their information.
we don't even listen to like radio
Through
anymore.
tablets.
Yeah,
Yeah.
TV, radio.
No.
It's all like
It's all stream
phone. Yeah, it's
services.
phone,
and
Twitter
Disney
and
Disney
stuff like
quickly
that,
caught
yeah.
on to that and decided to
yeah,
make their
Twitter,
streaming.
dude. Twitter's like Disney Central. They'll give you what's gonna happen.
Dude,
what's
I was
coming
so
out,
mad when
it
I started
happens.
seeing ads on Twitter. I was like, bro, like this no.
You're just trying to see, you're just
can't
trying to
believe this
retweet,
shit.
and then an
Yeah.
ad just comes. Disney Plus
I sh-
this week.
I'm like, fuck you, this.
Yeah, because that's what I'm scared of. Because they also announced like Daredevil that they're making it, and I'm scared because that's one of my favorite series on Netflix. I
that
fucking
show's
love Daredevil.
badass.
They did so good on that show. I love it so much. That's one of my favorite shows that I've watched, probably like twice. And I'm
Damn.
really scared that they're gonna make it like Disney Plus because I'm like, fuck, dude.
You don't think they'll keep it like R-rated? You think they'll?
I don't
soften it
think
up?
it's not gonna be like Netflix. It's not. There's no way.
Yeah, because the
there's-
Netflix one was brutal.
Yeah, dude. Like
Yeah.
It was
like,
crazy.
There's parts where he's just bloodied. He has blood. Everyone's all bleeding, and he's like,
That scene where Kingpin like fucking bashes that guy's head in with the door.
yeah,
the
and
car door,
yeah.
like decapitates him.
Or
pretty much.
even the parts where they even say like, oh, if you don't leave my friends alone, I'm gonna make sure your wife gets locked up. He's like, I'm gonna find your wife, and I'm gonna make sure like, he's basically gonna like hurt her, and then I'm like, you can't say that at Disney Plus. What are you gonna like? How are you gonna like go from that badass person to like now?
You can't soften it up.
Yeah, like he's known to be, but he fucks people up just for being bad. Like,
so
That's
even if
Daredevil.
like the way you say Disney, like I mean, you see like Disney trying to creep into like Moon Knight, like they're, you know, trying to get a little more violent. You don't think they're gonna deliver the same, like at all?
no, I'm scared because that was my favorite show, and I don't want it to not be my favorite show no more.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking about Disney, right? And
Mhm.
Disney Plus. So recently, Disney Plus released a new movie, which is Chippendale Rescue Rangers, right? Correct. I haven't seen it yet, but it actually looks pretty good. But there's like a bit of a controversy going on because I guess like when in the movie there's an older Peter Pan character, and what happens with him is like he talks about how he was in the movie industry as a little Peter Pan, but then as he grew up, he lost his job and like he's like disillusioned with the film industry and has turned to a life of crime. And what's kind of sad about that is that like that story is kind of based on like a real life tragedy, which is the actual voice actor for Peter Pan. His name is Bobby Discroll. And what happened with him was like he was a child actor, so he did a lot of Disney movies when he was a little kid, like 6, 7 years old. And his last Disney film was Peter Pan, the animated version. And he voiced the character. Like 2 weeks after Peter Pan came out, he got fired from Disney. And the reason why is because he hit 16 and he started.
Wasn't a kid anymore. I guess.
Yeah, he wasn't a kid no more, and he went through puberty, and they didn't want him anymore, so they pretty much fired him.
I don't want you anymore. Just dropped him.
I don't want to play with you anymore. Yeah, so
Oh my god.
after that happened, like he would get bullied in his high school, and so his parents. There's a sad story.
Go.
Oh man. No.
You're not Peter no more, huh?
Hey, what happened to Peter Pan?
Hey, loser. It's so mean, Arky.
Yeah, but he would get bullied a lot, which and eventually he started using drugs at a really young age, and he became an addict, dude. And so like after that, like it was hard for him to find work. Eventually they sent him to rehab, and he was going through a divorce at the time too. So after he goes to rehab for a few years, he comes back out. It was pretty much impossible for him to find work as an actor. He moved to New York to try to be a Broadway actor. That didn't work out. And then he died like all alone. Like he died of a heart failure, and his mom didn't even know until like a year later. Like no one knew who he was when he died.
That's crazy.
Like they buried him, and no one claimed his body, so they didn't even give him like a proper burial. He just died alone, and because of heart failure. His mom finds out a year later, and like 2 years later, 1971, when they re-released the Song of the South. That's a movie that he was in. That's when the press started like wondering what happened to him.
No way.
Yeah.
Is this like the original Disney film? Like like the old one?
The original Peter Pan?
Yeah.
Like
Oh
he's the
my
voice of the
gosh.
guy.
That's crazy.
So that's when they find out, 1971. So it's kind of sad that character in the movie is kind of based on the real life.
They're trying to portray it, but in a more like sensible way. Not just
Yeah,
being,
they're kind of like mocking the guy in a way, like, yeah, we fired him, and now
he's
like
a drug addict,
he died, and like that's like the joke of the movie, that it's like a washed up Peter Pan. So that's kind of fucked. I still kind of want to see the movie though. It looks kind of good.
I've honestly never heard of it. You knew about it as well? Like the Chippendale?
No, I'm not really a Disney Plus fanatic.
Yeah,
I own
dude.
it, but I'm not.
Dude,
one to
Ugly
check on
Sonic
it.
is in it. You know Ugly Sonic?
Really?
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
It's crazy, yeah.
No.
And they actually like got past like the copyright issues by calling him Ugly Sonic
Instead of Sonic.
instead of just Sonic. So they're able to use his likeliness and not pay Paramount anything because they call him Ugly Sonic. So
That's crazy. They
it's kind of
skimmed
smart on
through
there.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. So
But I also want to talk about one more controversy, I guess, and it's also about Disney. You guys probably do know about it or probably don't, but it's something that I found out too, and I was like, "What the hell?" But it's about So we all know Aladdin, right? And they released a TV show, and the TV show came out like 1993, 1994, something like that. And apparently, in the TV show, there's an Infinity Gauntlet in the TV show, or something that resembles it, and it's basically like, when I was thinking, I was like, oh, like, is Marvel connected to Aladdin in a sense? Because the Infinity Gauntlet's in it. It's a gauntlet he wears, and it has like 4 or 5 stones, but they're not in right here. They're like one's up here, 4 down here, and it does the same powers as the Infinity Gauntlet. Like he could,
Wait, so they
he could
use
warp
it in
time. Yeah, there's a scene where he has it on, and it's red.
Wait, for
He
real?
warps reality. And there's
It's
a
crazy.
yeah,
When did
it's
this come out? The show?
93 or 94. Yeah, he warps reality, and there's another scene where like this bandit has it, and he shoots like a yellow beam, like the Mind Stone, like how Thanos does it, exactly how
Damn.
he does it. So what if, like,
It's
he's
connected.
yeah? What if that's how it
Dude,
began?
Imagine the rug from Aladdin fighting Doctor Strange's cape.
They're just
That's
duking it out.
That'd be
Rocket
fire.
Raccoon and Abu just duking it out. No, but like
Then they start singing.
that's what the Marvel what if is for.
How did somebody
I
find
control-
that? Like, make the connection to that? That's crazy.
Because
The
it was based,
gauntlet.
it's like it resembles it. It's literally like they have the same powers, and it's a gauntlet. It's a gold gauntlet. That's what I didn't understand either. I was like, wow, these guys really just reuse the same stuff, man.
I can show you the gauntlet.
No, no, I don't know. Disney just does some weird
That's crazy. And that was before they bought it.
93, yeah.
It was like years ago.
That was just a movie about, Abu, Jasmine, and
Oh,
Aladdin. Yeah.
I love that you know the characters.
There's only 3.
No, there's more.
Abu.
Jafar.
What's the
Or
bad
Afar.
guy's name?
Jafar.
Jafar.
So far.
I said Safar. Like, I was thinking of Safari, and I was like, no, that's not it. Jafar.
What's the tiger's name? Does he have a name?
He does
The
have
pet
a-
Raja.
tiger?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, Raja.
Dude, you have a good memory, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Freaks me
You
out.
don't remember when Jasmine's sitting right there and she's like petting on Raja and the little birds come out? Bro, it's a classic movie. How do you not remember these?
This guy.
It's not better than Morbius,
Eric
but
will
it's
be-
still, it's still a good movie, That's what I'm thinking. But I think we've hit everything we need to talk about, I'm pretty sure.
Dude,
yeah.
but I wanted to ask you though, because you were at a sporting event.
I was.
And you
Angel
saw-
City Football Club.
You saw
Mhm.
Torina.
Tell us who you saw.
Yeah,
spoiled
I
it.
did.
God damn it.
I know.
They don't know what that is. People aren't gonna know what Torina is.
How are they not gonna know? Oh,
Because that's not her name. That's
yeah, I
not
know,
her
I
name.
know,
So
but
it-
I'm like, I don't know if I say Angel City Football Club, they'll probably make the tie. But yeah, I went to a soccer game this Saturday, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I was kind of looking at her and trying to see if it was like CGI, like her build, because she still looks really tiny. But I saw Natalie Portman.
I thought you meant
Yeah.
CGI in real life. You're like, that's not her.
No, but like it's because like in the trailer, like
She looks-
looks
she's
like,
buff.
She's all
Yeah,
buff
she's
and
ripped.
huge, and supposedly that she like worked out
She
for that.
trained.
And when I saw her, she had like a little sweater, but she looked really like little
Small.
and petite. Yeah.
Well, they probably filmed it probably like 2 years ago.
Hmm.
Probably filmed it a long time ago.
Yeah.
That's all I think. They
She's
just have
probably, like,
stuff ready.
fuck working
Yeah,
out.
they have most stuff ready, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure.
But I just think it's like crazy to see her.
Dude, you were like a
just,
few feet away from her.
You didn't try going up to her?
No, but I was going crazy, yelling at her like, I just look like a.
Not even during the game. She was like, Natalie! Not
Yeah.
the team. Natalie!
So quiet.
They made her go. She's like, let's go, Natalie!
go, Natalie.
Yeah.
Let's go,
Actually,
Portman!
it's funny because I had went because my friend invited me, and so she's like, "Oh, it's a new team. They barely started playing this year because I guess Natalie Portman's like, oh, there's not enough women's soccer team, and so she
Oh,
decided to open
nice.
her own team.
It's her
And-
team?
It's her team.
She
called-
owns a team
it's
that
called
plays
the
Like, she owns a
Natalie's.
team.
The little Natalies.
Yeah.
the Portmans.
The Portman.
Portman.
Natalie and the Portman.
Yeah.
That's what the club is called.
That's pretty
Yeah.
tight. I didn't know she owned a soccer
I didn't know
team.
that either. That's what you
Yeah.
said. People made that connection. I probably would have never made that
I
connection.
know who for sure sponsors it. It's like a YouTuber named Lily Singh.
yeah.
Gabrielle Union, Becky G's also. She's a part of the team too. Like she's an investor.
She's in the team?
No, she's like an investor.
s-
Yeah.
Left wing Becky G
Yeah.
with the assist.
Yeah. And she goes to the games too. They all go to the games. All the
That's
investors.
I
pretty
think we
sick.
should just start going to the games then.
Yeah.
Just
Dude, I mean, you gonna sneak
now
me
I
in
like
there?
I like soccer.
Yeah. Women's soccer.
No, but yeah, I feel like we've covered mostly everything we need to talk about today. But yeah, I hope you guys really like this episode. We're with our special guest
I mean,
that we
I
had
was kind of
today.
a little.
Even
I'm not. I was.
She
kind of
led the conversation.
Well, I mean,
I lead the conversation.
We have a woman talking about men. All right.
Oh.
That's what we needed. Let us know.
We do like a woman's perspective.
did,
in
yeah,
in
honestly, yeah.
many topics.
I
We
sounded
do need a
sarcastic,
woman's
but-
perspective because
Mhm.
we do need to hear both sides of the story. Because if not, it's just men being men, and being like
Just a giant
"Ah."
circle jerk.
Yeah, it's just like testosterone levels are high, and
It's
everyone's
just
like,
a
I'm
lot of
right, no,
kissing.
I'm right. And if there's a girl, she's like, well, let me tell you my portion,
Yeah.
and then it soothes it down a little bit.
Well, I mean, it's good, especially the movie that we were talking about today, men. You know, we definitely need like a woman's perspective on like
Yeah.
how they felt watching it.
It's kind of weird to just have a man's perspective on something that's more related to a woman than to a
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. So yeah, guys, let us know what you guys think about the movie.
Yeah, and then
men, let us know what you rate it.
let us know what you think about even the trailers that are coming out, even all, you know, because there's a bunch of series coming out, so there's a lot to talk about. But even like, yeah, I still we read the comments, so we do know what movies you guys want us to watch. But I still would like you guys to leave even more comments to see what we want to watch, because, you know, I do want to watch a bunch of movies and do reviews of the fans and what they want to see, which would be a good
Thanks for
idea.
joining
I even
us,
want to know
guys.
what they think. Like, I like to know if like what they think is wrong or right on my end, and I kind of want to know the perspective on how what I said of men and women, and however even like all the other genders, how does that make them feel as well?
Yeah.
The film.
Yeah, I know we're gonna
Tell
get,
us how
I
Darlene.
No,
I
it's
know,
good.
I know we're gonna get some type of hate because we're talking about it, and it's
'Cause
like,
we're men.
yeah, we're guys talking
We're
about
men.
it. So of course I understand that's how it's gonna work, but someone
Yeah.
has to say it in
Yeah.
a sense.
So thanks for joining us.
Yeah, but honestly, guys, thank you for watching. You
I
know,
love you.
my name's Eric, and you can catch me on Instagram at @itstarzan_.
My name's Sam. You catch me on Instagram, SamMart13.
I'm Darlene. You can follow me at Darlene Pacheco. First and last name, simple. That's
Yes.
it.
Awesome.
Yeah, but thank you for watching,
Thank you,
guys.
guys.
Peace.